It's OK Football's Champ Chat, where we take a look at everything that's been happening this game week in the Championship. Unfortunately, we can't discuss Watford versus West Brom or Norwich versus Burnley because we record this Sunday morning. But with me, I'm Ollie K. I got my co-host. I got Wedge.
Hello.
And I got Phil.
Hi, everyone.
We good chaps?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. Depressing on a personal note from our own persuasions as to who we support, but other than that, it's fine.
This is an unbiased podcast. What are you talking about, mate?
And it, like we said in our other show, we knew that we were going to lose, so we can only smile through it.
Yeah, check it out. You know, the Luton Town show. We have a good old rant about Luton Town. Let's kick this off. Who's the stars of the week for you, Phil?
Stars of the week is an interesting one. I think that there's been a couple of excellent performances. Personally, I think that the Sunderland comeback was probably one of the performances of the week. I mean, they were 2-0 down at Swansea, and by all means, it sounds like Swansea were absolutely all over them in the first half. But they got back into it. Shout out for potentially goal of the week. For Neil, the equalising goal for Sunderland. There are some bangers this week. We'll talk about them shortly, but absolutely wonderful goal for Sunderland to get that equaliser. And then Joe Bellingham got the winner at the end. So I think that when you consider the context of the situation for where they were, 2-0 down away from home, I thought that was an excellent performance from Sunderland.
Sunderland have had a few struggles recently, haven't they? They've won one in the last 8, and the fact they're still fourth in the league kind of shows what a start they got off to the season. And you know, to go 2-0 down, you know, wheels could have come off, but you know, when you win 3-2 after 2-0 down, that's a
the thing is with Sunderland, they weren't losing. Look at West Brom, you know, West Brom had something like crazy, like 10 draws out of 11. And when you're still picking up the points, you're going to be in and around that playoff picture, and you know, promotion chasing and playoff pushing teams, that is ultimately what you want to be doing. You know, you want to be grinding out points from below par performances. And also
when you're waiting for your players to come back as well, because they've had a little bit of an injury crisis.
They've had an injury crisis, but they're all back now. Rigg was excellent yesterday. Joe Bellingham with a good goal. Yeah. And those players are all very important. Yeah. No, I thought it was a fair play to them. I thought it was a good performance yesterday. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think, but I just mentioned about Neil's goal as an absolute banger. You talk about Liam Cullen's free kick.
I was going to say, there's a couple of free kicks. Liam Cullen's free kick was wonderful. Absolutely.
Absolutely. To make it 2-1 as well.
Left foot in the top corner, like absolutely beautiful. But
that was 2-0.
That was 2-0.
That was 2-0.
Yeah, they went 2-0 up. Yeah.
Crikey.
Yeah, but there was another one. There was another good free kick yesterday, which I thought was really good management as well. Whether it was on purpose or not, I'm gonna say that it was. Scott Twine came on, and his literal first touch on the pitch yesterday for Bristol City was to score an absolutely lovely free kick. And it wasn't like absolute postage stamp. It was just the sheer techers on it. It was up and over the wall, and the keepers trusted that the wall would do its job. They did nothing wrong, but it was just pure excellent technique. I thought it was, and then you look at the other goal for QPR. You know, like a couple of wonderful goals in that game.
Wonderful? I mean, the finish from Paul Smythe was fantastic, but I don't know what the keeper was doing, Max O'Leary.
Yeah. But like, also, you to have the composure and to have the technique to actually get it in from that angle and that length, that distance. I think you've got to give him props.
And it was fantastic. I saw a lot of him because I watched a lot of Leyton Orient with my mate Johnny.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So I watched a lot of him, Vigouroux, who's in the Swansea game. What a keeper Vigouroux is. Amazing to see him playing in the Championship now. Paul Smythe was very, very tricky, and considering Orient had signed him from QPR, he went back to QPR, I think, upon the conclusion of his contract. I was thinking, was it a great move for him? But he's a wonderfly technical player.
Yeah.
Paul Smythe, wonderful.
Got a great backflip in him as a goal celebration as well.
Has he?
Not quite now.
Yeah. But yeah, no, very, very good. And QPR, like I said, they'll love this. They've gone above Luton in the table as well. So they're turning things around.
They turned the corner. I think that's 5 without a loss now.
Yeah. And I think that kind of performance, I mean, I think they did well to come out with a point. I think Bristol City were, in all intents and purposes, all over them and should have been probably out of sight before QPR got the equaliser. But it's those away performances where you dig in deep and get a point to take back with you, which kind of, can turn your season around. And I think, QPR had a struggle, but, 5-6 without defeat now for them.
Yeah.
But that's the difference. I think that you would look at teams that are around there. That's why they're clawing their way up the table. So, for example, like QPR, they just got that point away from home yesterday. Whereas you look at Hull, who went 1-0 up just on the stroke of half time at Coventry. João Pedro getting the goal, and they couldn't hold on. And I mean, we've experienced the sort of the barrage of Coventry City when you go ahead of them at their place, and they turned us over. But I thought Mason Clark was speaking. You said at the
brave
very start
as well.
Yeah, like, unbelievably good player. You can clearly see why he's ousted certain players out of the team.
Didn't they get him from Peterborough? Peterborough have a crazy conveyor belt of talent. I think he was from Peterborough. Yeah.
But like he got the goal, brave, but also the assist as well. Like the low centre of gravity and the turn of pace and the trickery. You can see why Lampard's put him in there. Very, very good player. Very, very good turnaround from Coventry.
Well, I was watching those highlights, 13 minutes extended highlights that we were talking about before. Every other extended highlights package is 10 minutes, but for Coventry, they need to get the obligatory 3 minutes of Frank Lampard.
Time.
Yeah, like all the reactions from Frank Lampard. And I have to say, I don't know how this was only, it was 2-1. I don't know how, because Cov should have been 4, 5, 6 up. It
missed penalty as
well, missed a penalty.
Yeah. So but like I say, that's the difference. Is what the point I was trying to make was that Hull aren't hanging on to those points. And we know full well how painful that is. But that's the sort of difference, and that's why QPR are climbing their way up. Yeah,
Ruben Sellers has a proper job on his hands there, because Hull played good football. When we saw them play at Kenilworth Road, they were playing some fantastic football and looked absolutely perfect for like a Ruben Sellers type manager to come in and sort of just tighten them up slightly.
Yeah. But it's not come to fruition, but unfortunately for them. But
no, we're talking about digging deep. Preston, so Preston won, Leeds won.
Yeah.
And fair play to Preston, because they're tough to beat, but Leeds. Yeah,
Preston got remarkably lucky. And I want to I'll caveat that if you'll give me a second. So did really, really well, went ahead. Pretty deservedly. I think that they were very, very good for the sort of first half of the first half. How they have 11 men on the pitch is absolutely beyond me. Ben Whiteman, who is a yellow card merchant at the best of times anyway, I think he picked up his 8th yellow card yesterday.
Wow.
Already. So he's done a deliberate trip to stop one of the Leeds players like streaking through to the attacking half. And then about 5 minutes later, he's absolutely crunched Bogle on the shin, and the replays, obviously they always make it look worse, but the worst thing was the referee took a little bit of a minute and then gave the free kick. So it was acknowledged that there was a definite foul, and it was like the argument was that it was on his follow through from trying to clear the ball, but the reality of it is
he was waiting for VAR.
Snapped the bloke.
He was waiting for VAR, wasn't he?
You remember a couple of weeks ago when we played Leeds, I had a good friend of mine, Leon, and I was saying to him, I was like, that if VAR was in play, you'd be playing against 10 men.
Mm-hmm. Oh, was that the Walsh thing when he came in after Baptiste? Well, I can't remember.
I can't remember, but it basically it was it was an awful challenge yesterday. And as much as we need to give Preston credit for getting a point against Leeds, the reality for Leeds is that they will be gutted that they didn't take all 3, because they should have been playing for a good sort of 55 minutes against 10 men. And my Lee was saying that this is why we need VAR in the Championship. I'm staunchly against it.
It's not a problem. They're going to be in the Prem next year.
So yeah,
does it matter?
Yeah, but I'm staunchly against it because of being in the Premier League last year, and I hated it. But Leeds will be thinking that is at least 2 points drops. I just thought that the referee completely bottled it, and there was bookings all over the shop on the touchline. Farker got booked. Heckingbottom, I think, got booked. There was a few other of the backroom stuff, but absolute joke of a decision. Absolute joke.
Feisty, that's wonderful.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a Battle of the Roses, wasn't it? It was Lancashire versus Yorkshire, so it was a feisty one. But 100% a red card. I'm just going to pin my flag to Marseille because I've already made that very clear.
But that brings us on perfectly to the team that has actually got some daylight now between Leeds, Sheffield United. So not as routine as the scoreline would have predicted. So I've made some notes here. So that was Harmer's first goal for Sheffield United in 14 games. And look, Sheffield United scored, but then Plymouth proceeded to absolutely batter them. And it's a shame that Plymouth couldn't get the goal that they actually deserved, in my opinion. And I've actually got some stats here because they were crazy. It was crazy how outplayed Sheffield United were. But you know what? That's the mark of champions.
It is.
As I said, they're going to walk the league. Yeah, you weather the storm. Yeah. You play what's in front of you, and if the other team are playing like fiends, you weather the storm, you get the points, and
keep
then
a clean sheet, because these guys keep clean sheets like nobody's business.
They do, but I'll tell you what, the Sheffield United defence looked like they were scrabbling at times here. So some of these, Plymouth played 555 passes to Sheffield United's 325. with an 86% passing accuracy compared to Sheffield United's 72. And the majority of these passes were in Plymouth's own half, but that is how you want to be acting as a team battling relegation, stringing your passes together. They went toe-to-toe with Sheffield United. They got sucker punched with it was Brendan Galloway that gave away the pen.
Yes. Yes, I saw that.
Clumsy.
Yeah, he
Clumsy.
was devastated as well by it.
Yeah. Yeah, like Kevin McAllister from Home Alone.
or just one of our thumbnails on the OK Football Show.
Yeah, that was crazy. I expected...
it was great technique going back to the Gustavo Harmer goal. It was great tech.
Scholes-esque.
He hit it into the floor to keep it low as well, which I thought was very, very good. So, good goal. And I don't know... I haven't noticed Sheffield United. This is my bad, but I haven't noticed them... who's their regular penalty taker. So when I saw that it was Kiefer Moore, I didn't know if it was regularity or if it was a confidence boost thing. I don't know.
I don't know. He hasn't scored. Let us know in the comments. But I don't think he takes many penalties. I thought it would have been Callum O'Hare, Gustavo Hamer, possibly. But to be honest, they have a lot of technical players that can probably take quite a few penalties. Yeah. Where should we go next? While we're up north, how about Blackburn 2, Luton 0?
Yeah. Thanks for that. I think it's one of the more predictable scorelines of the entire weekend. Luton's away form is absolutely ghastly, and Blackburn Rovers' home form has been particularly good. So to me, a 2-0 scoreline was pretty predictable.
Well, they've won all their previous games 1-0, haven't they?
Yeah, last 4 games 1-0.
So we're twice as bad as some of the other guys.
There you go.
Only twice as bad. Yeah, I mean, I think both teams had opportunities, didn't they? Luton had a couple of opportunities, but then you've got the ridiculousness of your sub coming on and getting sent off for the second time this season after only being on the pitch 11 minutes this time. Liam Walsh.
That's improvement.
And
might get 490 by the end of the season.
Yeah, accumulatively.
But yeah, you can tell how frustrated Morris was in that as well. Literally just pushing him off the... I'm surprised he didn't just pick him up and throw him over his shoulder. Yeah. But it was a couple of friends said that it wasn't a red card.
It was a
but
red.
It's a red all day long.
It was so late. His studs were showing.
Yeah,
it was so late.
And you knew he'd made a mistake because he feigned his own injury, didn't he?
Yeah.
I was watching that. I was like, "Get up! You're not injured, mate."
Yeah.
It's that tried and tested sort of thing. I've made a huge boo-boo.
Yeah.
It's like
if I stay down long enough, maybe the ref will forget what a terrible challenge is and take sympathy in me. No, no one's taking sympathy.
Do you remember when that Newcastle player, I think it was Robbie Elliott, on the goal line, and he got...
Oh, no. It was Taylor, Stephen Taylor.
Stephen Taylor.
He was like,
yeah.
Stephen
like
Taylor.
He didn't want to
we got to get the right player for that one. That was Stephen Taylor. Yeah.
It was like that, roll around on the floor. Yeah, I'm injured. You can't send off an injured man, ref.
Yeah.
He was absolutely fine.
Yeah, he was absolutely fine. He just knew that he'd made a huge boo-boo.
Yeah, maybe do that on your own 18-yard box, but there's absolutely no reason to be doing it. Yeah. And the opposition's there.
I'd love to know what the group chat's like today. Carlton sending him emojis and stuff like that. So
I reckon the group chat's absolutely dead.
Just like, off, who cares?
Morris has probably kicked him out of the chat and thought, actually, no, I'll bring him back in, and then 10 minutes later, just kicked him out again.
Kicked himself out. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Right. So what should we look at next?
Else we got? Stoke was 2-2, wasn't it, against Cardiff?
Late equaliser, wasn't it, for Stoke?
So they've
both teams need points.
They do. I was pretty shocked at just how bad Stoke were when they came to Kenilworth Road midweek.
I still think they're all right.
Yeah, I like I said, I think that they've got some good players. Don't get me wrong, they've got some good players, but they were poor. And I don't know whether that's because they were away from home and that's just the way that their trends are going.
I think it's to do with Narcis Pelak. I saw a stat, he'd have to win his next 10 games to even get the same win rate that Steven Schumacher had in his time.
Right. There you go.
Yeah. Next 10 out of 15.
Wow.
Yeah, to get the same numbers as Steven Schumacher. And Steven Schumacher getting sacked, lunacy. Good manager. Good manager, but there's something rotten at Stoke. There is.
Well, has been for years, isn't
it? But now it's John Walters. John Walters has come in, he's thrown his weight around, he's brought in the manager he wants, and now it's a case of they're stuck because if they get rid of Narcis Pelak this season, it looks like John Walters is effed up.
Yeah.
Whereas if they manage to survive relegation, they get rid of him next season, it looks like Narcis Pelak has effed up. Yeah. It's about saving face. And John Walters, he's done a lot of damage in his short time as technical director there.
Yeah.
A lot of damage.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? It's tough times for both of them at the minute. Like I say, they'll be glad they got a point, but ultimately Cardiff will be ruining the opportunity to have taken 3 points on the road. But
it's a couple of away games in a row where they've been up late as well, 3 points, and ended up going away with a draw, which is still a point, but it could be looking so much better for them if they'd been able to just stick it out.
Yeah, Omar Rizza's going to want to see a change in fortunes. Like since he's become the manager, it hasn't. I mean, permanent manager, not interim. It hasn't really gone well for him. But they could be looking over their shoulders. Hoping for like 3 worse teams than them.
Speaking of that, that's a bit like Oxford at the minute. I was just going to sort of say about them.
What amazing segue!
It was, wasn't it? Thanks. But yeah, their form's
starting
plummeted.
To struggle a bit now, aren't they?
Again, they're another team that I think will be reliant on the home form. And it was a weird game.
Home form's dried up, mate.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. So that's dried up, and that will be the worry. Is that? I mean, I think they've got Leeds next week. I think
pray for
it's
Oxford.
either next week or the week after. But yeah, good luck to them. But
Sheffield Wednesday have been on a march. They're away form.
Danny Rowe is a good manager, mate.
Yeah.
Danny Rowe's a very good manager.
Yeah.
They've been having a very good time away from home.
Some scrappy sort of goals in that game, I saw. But ultimately, 3-1 win away from home, done the job. And like Sheffield Wednesday are fine, aren't they? Let's be honest, they're not going to be involved in anything to do with relegation.
No.
They'll be looking to aspire to go further up than anything else.
It's like their second season in the Championship, so it is a case of building. If you cast your mind back to Luton Town, like second season after we got promoted, It was relegation, battle bravely against relegation, mid-table mediocrity, push for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Was that a bit too fast? Maybe.
I'd say so now.
Yeah.
With the 2020 of hindsight,
2020 hindsight. So with Oxford, I think they had a lot of momentum based off their playoff push from League One, and all that momentum's kind of dried up, but it also coincides with Siriki Dembele.
Yeah, he's injured.
So he got injured in the 1-1 draw against Derby, and I think since then, I think it's been 10 games. They've won once, drawn once. So he's a big player for Oxford. Real shame that he's missing.
Yeah.
Talented player.
Mentioned Derby there. Obviously the other team to come up. They're looking all right, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, this was their second win in 11. Second win in 11, but you know what a way to do it. 4-0 against Pompey. Pompey not having a good time of it. Although I say that
winners.
Yeah, well look, they hadn't lost in 4, and then they get absolutely thumped by Derby. But anything can happen in the Championship.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to the interview after the game for Mendes Lang, and he was saying it felt like that was coming. And a lot of professional teams say that they feel like when their form's okay, they say that someone's going to get an absolute thumping. It happened to be Pompey this week, but yeah, Derby at Kenilworth Road next, so we'll be a little bit more informed when we see them in the flesh about how they. Yeah,
don't mention it, mate. Don't mention it. So which other ones have we got? But well, for last, for last, yeah. So it's Neil Harris's last game. On the topic of lasts.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way for that to come to an end, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, who would have thought calling the fans thickos would have these types of ramifications? Like, I feel for James Berylson because he's picked up the club from his dad, John Berylson, who died really untimely, and he's doing the best he can, but Neil Harris, he feels like one of those managers that really works at one specific club, and off the back of those 4 back-to-back wins where it pushed them into the playoff zone, and then they had a couple of draws, I think he deserved a bit of slack from the fans. I don't think he deserved the pile-on just for calling them thickos. Like, if cast your mind back, Joe Kinnear said all fans are donuts, and sure, that was in the press media, written. Yeah, like, and we don't know what football managers say behind closed doors. Yeah, they probably think, fans. What do fans know? Yeah, we're fans, but we are the one constant of football clubs. So we are entitled to an opinion. Like, don't call us thickos or donuts or whatever. Like in the press.
Yeah,
it's the
like
wrong
he
way
needs to think about it.
Trying to give them a reality check, I think, wasn't it? You choose your words. He just didn't choose them wisely, did he?
An impassioned moment. Where do they go from here? That's the other thing. Like, do they go back to sort of tried and tested? Do they look at sort of getting, Rowett back in or something like that to tide them over for the rest of the season, or do they go a complete? Because I think that it's fair to say that they'll be fine. I think that they'll pick up enough points, obviously, to maintain Championship. But they've also got a really good, stable base to push on this season. They could make a real good charge for it. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Millwall do. Do they go really ambitious and go with something a little bit out of the box, or do they go tried and tested and see if they can just continue to carry on down the same path in the sort of play in the Harris ethos? I don't know.
I know. James Berylson, I think he might have big plans because they want to extend the Den. So, there's a lot.
Why do they want to do that? They don't fill it anyway.
I think they do. They get a few. Well, they're a London club, South Bermondsey. So I think they're trying to
empty to me.
Bring more people. No, well, to be honest, a lot of stadia look empty. I was looking around Coventry yesterday and thinking, oh crikey, pretty empty. Yeah. Blackburn, I think they only fill 50% of it.
Yeah, they regularly do about 50%.
But remember, this is a London club. They could get a lot of football tourism. Like, look, Luton are building a 25,000 seater stadium.
Yeah, we're not going to fill that.
No, no, of course not. It'd just be nice with all the amenities, and it's going to completely renovate this area that we're in now in Hightown. It's completely going to renovate it. It's going to be wonderful. But that's.
I was say,
go on.
We spoke about Millwall there. I think Middlesbrough deserve a bit of a mention.
Oh, yeah, we talked
of
about
course,
it.
Yeah, sorry, Barra.
They're going for playoffs, right?
Yeah, they were very inconsistent the first part of the season, but now they seem to have found their rhythm now, haven't they?
Yeah. And it was a clinical finish. We were sort of berating them at the start of the season.
Yeah, Latte. He couldn't hit. He couldn't hit the barn door with a banjo, whatever the saying is.
Planted straight away, whereas all the highlights suggest that Millwall had 2 or 3 one-on-ones, couldn't get past the goalkeeper. So that literally was the difference.
That's a player with confidence right there. The way he started the season, spooning them over the bar, wide, everywhere. But now
side foot, past the keeper, job to good. Well done.
Yeah, I reckon they're going playoffs, Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
As are Blackburn.
Unless
here's
Carrick gets poached by Wolves or something.
Give me your top 6 now. Who's going up automatically?
Leeds and Sheffield United.
Yep,
Sheffield United in top, and then Leeds.
Go on, Wedge. Who's your top 2?
I'm sticking with Burnley.
Okay.
Yeah, I generally think again, and I think Sheffield United.
You think Leeds are going to bottle it? They're going to bottle out into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay. And who are your playoff contenders then?
Playoff contenders. So obviously for me, I've taken Leeds and Sheffield United. So it'll be Burnley. It will be Borough. I think that if Blackburn continue their home form, I think it could be those guys in it. And then it's going to be, it's a bit of a lottery for other people. I'm probably missing a glaring one there. But
West Brom.
West Brom.
No, I'm not feeling West Brom. I feel like
really?
I feel like they draw far too much. And I know that we always say about how good their manager is and everything like that. But no, I'm not thinking that they're gonna cause too many problems. I think that they'll draw themselves out of the race for it.
I think it could be a dark horse, like someone like Sheffield Wednesday or something like that.
You think they're going to make a late push?
Yeah. I mean, you've got another half of a season to go. Anyone can take that.
I'm saying
final.
Sunderland. I'm saying Sunderland.
Yeah.
Sunderland, yeah.
I'm saying Sunderland.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would go. As boring as it is, and I hate the fact that there are these sort of yo-yo situations. I think Burnley may be the one that take that playoff place.
You can't score against them. I think it'll be really interesting. It'll be Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Blackburn, Burnley.
Yeah, there you go.
It'd be 2 derbies.
So we're in agreement. Yeah,
it'd be interesting.
Yeah,
I'd love it if they did meet each other, but it's probably not going to pan out.
It'd be quite good. I think it'd be quite good if for Premier League football. Not that I'm particularly worried about
some northern teams,
but it'd be quite good to have Sunderland and Newcastle back in the same division and have that derby up there because those guys have got fierce rivalry.
Yeah, it'd be wonderful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be quite good. But yeah, I think I would sway towards Burnley being the more realistic of those 4 that I've mentioned.
Wedge, you give us your 4. Who your 4?
Yeah, it's obviously I've gone Burnley and Sheffield United straight back up. Leeds, Borough, Sunderland, and
Watford.
I was listening. I was like, no one's mentioning them, and I don't want to. But again, I don't think they'll have enough to get there. But it's difficult to choose that final because, like I say, anyone can make a push for that.
There's a long way to go, mate.
Momentum in the spring.
Yeah, Luton filling that final spot.
No, that's not happening.
I thought about joking about that, but I think West Brom possibly in that last one. I don't think Blackburn will have enough to. They've gone on a nice little run now, but I don't think they'll have enough to get to the playoffs by the end of the season.
Blackburn, Burnley, if they meet, no one's going to score. Two very good defences.
Yeah.
But that's us done for this week. Yeah, if you've enjoyed this and you're watching and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We have lots of championship content. As always, a big thank you to our audio partners, Black Star Amplification and Carry On, for making sure that we sound great. And wherever you are in the country, go check out the record shop in Amersham. If you tell them that you listen to the OK Football Show, you'll get a discount. But that's all from us. Everyone have a great week.
Stay safe. See ya.
See you later.